Hi, welcome back to week 41 of Foundation 52. This is our second video for this week. And this week, or excuse me, this video is on decision impacts with respect to your products and services. The entire week is about decision impacts, which, as I gave you kind of the spoiler alert for in the first video, decision impacts is really just a fancy way of saying, of talking about how the decisions that you make impact the rest of your business, right? So I know we're fancy over here at SB Pays. So here's the deal. When you're thinking about your product or service and the decision impacts that you're making, the things that you want to consider are things like this. If you understand the impact that your product and or service has on your business, right? So if you've got a mix of products and or services and you stop, production runs low on one of your products or something, what's the impact on the business? So what each product and or service and the impact it has on your business. So for example, for us at SB Pace, one of the biggest, heaviest lift things that we do is working on growth strategies with clients. Now, we love doing it, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for us and it's a lot of work for the clients. So really understanding like how many growth strategy clients can we take at the same time, because we want to understand what the lift is, where we are in the process with each client we have signed. So we could sign a client and initially we're spending 30 hours a week working with that client. But, after like the first 3 months, then maybe we're only 10 hours a week working with them. And so we've got some additional bandwidth. So we really just need to understand, how does a particular service impact our business? What does it do to our capacity? How are we able to serve clients? And how many clients could we take for a given service at any given time, right? So we really needed to understand that, because the last thing that we want to do is sell something that we can't actually deliver. That's not who we are. And we want to go above and beyond for our clients. So we just really need to make sure that we've got the bandwidth and the capacity to deliver on what we sell. And that means we need to understand very clearly what it is we're selling. And we need to understand very clearly what the draw on our time is going to be across the entire engagement with the client. Okay. The next one is thinking about, if you're a product-based business, do you have enough inventory on hand to get you through your sales cycle? And if you don't, how quickly can you get additional inventory? This is also key in just knowing what's your inventory turn time. If you aren't manufacturing and storing it yourself, if you've outsourced that to another company or another business, then really understanding how quickly can they create or manufacture more inventory for you and get it ready for your customers or get it ready to sell. So that's a key one in terms of understanding your inventory and how that works with your customers. So you need to understand the decisions. And if you are going to run a big sale, let's say that you decide you want to offer like 50% off because, I don't know, some reason it's 4th of July and you love America, because yay, go America. I love America too. So if you were going to offer 50% off, I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it. But anyway, I want to offer a 50% off sale for 4th of July. I really need to know, do I have enough inventory to do that? And if I don't, how quickly can I get more inventory? Because you need to be able to fulfill the order. So understand the impact of the decision for offering it on sale, but you also want to look at it from the perspective of, what's that do to your revenue, right? So if you've got revenue models and you need to make a certain amount of revenue and all of a sudden you're charging 50% less, obviously your margin is less, so your revenue is less. You might get more sales, but what does it mean for you? Especially understanding the cost to manufacture the product. How does inventory impact your finances? This is a big one, right? So inventory on hand, days inventory on hand. How long are you holding product that you have paid for before you sell it? What is the turn time on it? There's a direct impact on your finances for how long you're holding inventory before you're able to sell it. So you need to understand, if you decide to, make a big order, what does that mean for the rest of your business? Are you then kind of hamstrung on capital to be able to do some other things? Or are you fine because you've got enough, liquidity to be able to make some decisions, or you can draw on a line of credit. So even if you don't sell the inventory as quickly as you'd like to, you'll still be okay. Do you have a decision tree for making decisions on ordering more products and how the payment terms are set up? Right. So, excuse me, if you're going to order more product from a vendor, what are the payment terms? What payments or terms are you trying to negotiate? And are you going back and renegotiating payment terms after you've been with a vendor for X amount of time? So do you have a decision tree in place? Have you looked at your vendor relationships and the payment terms with them, and understanding the impact that has on the rest of your business? Because that's your cash. And a lot of small business owners don't have a lot of extra cash. So you want to be able to get the best terms possible, and you want to know that you can sell that inventory quickly. You want to also understand how I'm so sorry. You want to understand how payment terms impact your revenue, and how do payment terms impact your pipeline, right? So if you're a service-based company and you sign a client for a growth strategy, just an example for us, we sign a growth strategy client, and let's say that we're charging them $20,000. And the client is asking if they could pay, $2,000 a month over the course of 10 months. Bulk of our work is done at the end of 4 months. So that's not really a favorable payment term for us, but we kind of have to look at it and say, well, is it more important that we get the business? Is it more important that we help this small business? What other revenue streams do we have coming in? What is impacted if we say yes to this, or what can we negotiate to get something different? And if we say no and we lose the deal, what's the impact, right? So just to really think through that. Do you know your capacity? We talked about this a little bit already in terms of like growth strategies for us, but when you are a service-based business, like how much capacity do you have to take on clients? There's only so many hours in the day. So how are you scaling? How are you able to scale? And is it that you're going to start offering some services, or are you hiring extra people to also perform the same services that you're offering? So you need a strategy for that. And it's not all that hard, but you have to think about it, right? You can't just say yes to every person who wants to work with you and then not have the capacity to do it. It just, sadly, time does not work like that. What happens if you sell more services than you can provide? Again, this goes back to your capacity. And if you're selling and you say yes, 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 so I'm in charge of sales, and let's just say that I sell and Corey delivers, and I sell, and Corey can't deliver, we've got a problem. We've got a problem that we're going to have to face. And so I can't make a decision to sell something without considering how we're going to deliver it and how much time it's going to take to deliver. So again, thinking about the decisions, thinking about the impacts of the decisions to say yes or to sell to a particular client or sell a particular service at any given time. And then finally, what's the impact on revenue and business reputation if your overall services or products can't meet the commitments that you've sold? So if I sell 5 growth strategies and we can't execute on 5 growth strategies, what does that do for our business? What's it do to our reputation? What's it do to the likelihood that someone else is going to sign with us? You need to be thinking about those types of things as you're making decisions. What else is impacted? What happens if we can't do what we say we're going to do? What happens if our product quality goes down? What happens if our reputation suffers? You just need to be asking what, how, why. That's the importance of decision impacts with respect to your product and or service. We will see you in video 3, in which we talk about decision impacts and finance, which we started to touch on a little bit in this video, but we're going to cover it more in depth.